Hello everybody, hope you're doing really well. Today we are in Aylesford and there's the bridge. If you can see it, I think you can, that'll be alright, won't it? We're in Aylesford today, gorgeous village in Kent, I love it here, not too far away from where I live actually, which is brilliant. We're going to do something that I've basically felt is the right opportunity to do this now, because I'm sort of on a series of pillboxes at the moment, so depending on whether this one comes out or whatever, the idea is that this is one of a different series of pillboxes where we take a look at their function and their use. Today we are checking out, it's a very special pillbox in itself for the type that it is, but I won't say too much, we need to go and check it out. But we're following the footpath along Aylesford. Beautiful day today, a little bit muddy. Let's go, come on. Hello everybody, welcome back as a plane is going over, which actually gives us a bit of a clue to this use of this pillbox. Obviously we're in Aylesford and the River Medway is right behind us. I'll show you all that in a minute. This is a Type 23 pillbox. Now, okay, Type 23, again, part of what I'm trying to do with a series of pillboxes and talking about their use and function. However, this one is very interesting in a couple of different ways, which I'm going to obviously explain to you now. What makes this one really interesting? Now, bearing in mind, other examples of this can be found in Gloucestershire, so bear that in mind for distance. Also bear in mind the fact that this might be its last of its type, if not unique to the area, and I really mean that. Type 23, okay, but it was used, it was constructed, there we go, via shuttering process. So precast concrete panels, as you can see, built up. So think of it like a Lego set, and the idea is you've already got the bricks, but then you're just putting them into place. Now, that might sound really interesting for some of you, and it also might seem a bit like, oh, it might make you think about every time you visit a pillbox because of the way that it's constructed. So the process is called shuttering, and like I said, it's about precast panels built, but it's very, very special for this area. Now, let me explain to you, this would have held 4 men, or a garrison of 4, and what makes Type 23s really interesting on top of that, you've got 3 embrasures, obviously loophole gun recesses, and then you've got this section, this open section. Now that would have been for 303 Bren or 303 Lewis guns for light anti-aircraft. So that meant that this pillbox had 2 different purposes. It had a ground defence, which obviously you could see with the 3 embrasures going out, and then you've got a light anti-aircraft section as well. So the role on this one was, it was to obviously guard against the River Medway, but also it's kind of hard to imagine it now, but behind us, from memory, this might be the only thing that I'm genuinely a bit worried about if I've got this right or not, but I'm pretty sure there was Shell behind us, Shell manufacture petroleum, situated behind us. It's very difficult now because a lot of things have changed, and even though I've lived around this area pretty much most of my life, I never really frequented this part. Obviously, I was all about everywhere, wasn't I? But some of you are very aware that this part, I never really sort of bothered to look at, because to be honest with you, this part of Aylesford was always going to be sort of very industrial in a certain way. You've got the beautiful village, but then the rest of it is very industrial. You have to sort of understand Aylesford to appreciate that. But yeah, its use and function is perfect. But the fact that this would have been the staging area for its light anti-aircraft, like I said, the Bren or Lewis, depending, and then it would have garrisoned, excuse me, for them. Now, over time, that was blocked up properly. However, people, as you can tell, have been messing about, and they've been using this pillbox now as a litter. Now, let me take you in. I'm not going to go in for obvious reasons. I think you can appreciate that. Torch covered in litter, absolutely caked in this stuff. So yeah, can we just accept the fact I'm not going into that? And that's the litter that we can see on the surface. Oh dear, do you know what, I laugh, but I tell you what, I've been there before, where it's just like, oh, this looks a lot of litter, and then your foot, and then things come out that you didn't expect would be, whatever. Gross. Behind us now is the main line, and Aylesford train station, I think, is on that side a little bit further on. I think it is, actually. Yeah, it is. Don't know why I'm going to question myself, I should know that. It's just down there. And then crosses, and then obviously there's cars you can cross over, and then they've got another industrial section over there, which again I think they're probably turning into houses. A lot of new builds are building up through here, so it's important that even though this is a pillbox, we document it as best as possible. It's on a footpath, which is great, but that also explains the amount of rubbish that is in here. The other thing I want to show you are the embrasures themselves. So this gives us a really good idea. There's one, obviously facing out towards the river. You can see actually how these precast concrete is made here. Like I said, the shuttering effect, I think it's called. Well, I should know it's called shuttering. If we look round, here is our other embrasure, other gun loop. There, that one's seen way better days, sadly. And then our final one, which I've got to negotiate a tree, is here. Now, for those who live in Dover and you're in Kent, a really good example of a standard Type 23 is in Dover. And that's all well and good, but it doesn't, from memory, have the shuttering. Of course, I'm pretty sure it doesn't, because if it does, I probably would have done that as well. This one does. And this is what makes it really interesting. It's just like I said, the process of how this has been built, which makes it very interesting and technically rare in its own right. But I find it fascinating. Hopefully you do as well. Right, okay, so what I'm going to now do is I'm going to take you inside and we can have a bit of a nosy look, and I can obviously then show you how bad it does look from the inside. So let me just get something there. So there we go. Oh wow, that has definitely seen better days, which is a shame. All that rubbish. You know, I wonder if you lived in Aylesford and you love your history and you've walked past this loads of times and you just thought, oh, it's just like a normal pillbox. But then when you actually realise the importance of how rare this type is of design, I wonder if you'd sort of change your mind on the fact that, like, you know, it'd be great, wouldn't it? You can walk by and you go, actually it tells a really interesting story. So if any of you are from Aylesford, hopefully this video has really helped illuminate this pillbox. They weren't shell proof. Small arms fire, yes, you'd be okay from small arms fire. However, shell proof, no. Most pillboxes are always debated whether the terminology shell proof actually really meant shell proof, because as we know, before Germany's manufacturing design and their approach, i.e. the Blitzkrieg approach, for example, pillboxes would almost get ignored. And the other obvious factor that we know as well is that, you know, the people that were stationed in here Can you imagine if you were stationed in a pillbox and you actually knew that, like for example, Operation Sea Lion was taking place and you knew the invasion was coming? A place like that is very cramped, it's very small, and it would be very, very scary. War is scary anyway, but when you're at that low, you know that these pillboxes are being designed. I mean, I've made this comment before. You've got to put yourself in the mind of people who lived around the areas of the GHQ line, for example, and they see these pillboxes being built. There's got to be an element of fear, because you know these are built for defence, which means that they assume that there would be the possibility or the chance of a German invasion. And it's got to be a scary prospect for any villager or any local around here when you see these things being constructed, because you're like, hang on a minute, that's not good. Do you know what I mean by that? But yeah, the shuttering process of the Type 23. I really hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much coming along with me. Hopefully you learnt a lot on the way as well. The beautiful idea that this was a dual purpose pillbox for light anti-aircraft and ground, but also the fact that within that this wasn't shell proof, and then it was used in a very unique way called a shuttering process, using concrete slabs. Like I said, imagine Lego bricks, but they're concrete, precast concrete, and you build them up. You can see it from here, like we said before. And that's pretty much it, everyone. Amazing, really, really brilliant. Like I said, a local one for me that I can finally tick off and go, right, okay, it tells a great story for Kent as well. So all you people from Kent, come down here. It's really not difficult to find. All you have to do is come from Aylesford Bridge. There's a public footpath and it leads you to the back end of Aylesford, basically behind the train station. It's a really lovely path, beautiful, because obviously you can see the opposite end of Aylesford properly, and obviously you get to tally along on the river Medway, which I love anyway. It's a beautiful thing. Well look, in immortal words of Phoenix history, as I stand next to the wonderful piece of history that is the Type 23 variant-ish precast concrete. Take care, feel free to spread the word of the channel, because history matters, and it just does, doesn't it, on a place like this? It really does. Hopefully I've told you an amazing story, and hopefully you can spread the word of the channel, like it if you wish. Take care everybody, because history matters. It really does, doesn't it? Ready now? Careful. Kapow.